Today, I wanted to talk about the difference between streamlining your business versus automating your business. So, a lot of people don't really understand the difference between streamlining versus automating, but we find that throughout our conversations with advisors, we're able to truly identify if they have a streamline problem versus automation problem, right? What's the difference? When you are thinking about streamlining your business, it's really focused on the process and the system. When we are evaluating if firms are in that streamline phase, we're looking to see, okay, do they have a repeatable process? Do they have their processes documented? Do they already have a system in place? And a system doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be automated. And so some of the things that we hear from advisors and understand, okay, you have a streamlining problem, is that they may not be able to delegate to their team. If you're not able to delegate to your team, it may be because your process isn't clear, it may not be documented, it may not be in a way that you can easily hand it off to someone else. The second piece is that I may hear things are falling through the cracks. And so that means that there is not a system to prevent things from falling through the cracks, and there's not a system to actually have a standard of client care in place. The last piece I look for is if someone says their process is too bespoke to create a process. That is not necessarily true. I am a service provider and we work with service-based businesses, financial planning firms. But one thing that is true is that yes, you're going to have personalized experience, but you also run a business. So if you're trying to have any business of scale, we have to keep in mind that there needs to be a machine behind the service. So those are the three challenges that we see from advisors who are struggling with streamlining. Now, let's go to automate, right? So how do we know if someone's having trouble with automating their business? The first piece is that you have a lot of manual tasks on your plate. So you may be delegating a lot of simple tasks that, now where technology is, that it could be automated. The second piece may be that you haven't reviewed your tech stack in a long time. So with technology, it is a resource to your business. And so we want to make sure that we're maximizing it. The final piece that I want to add here is that you may be thinking about hiring, right? And so what we want to do before we delegate is that we want to make sure that you have a streamlined system and an automated process. So now I want to talk about the how-tos, like how can you streamline and how can you automate your business? The first thing I want to make clear is that you always start with streamlining your business before automating your business. So how do you streamline? The first thing that you want to do is make sure you audit your existing processes. Most of the people that we're talking to, they have a process either in their head or documented. So you want to audit the way you run your business and then from there, document it. Once you have it documented, I like for people to plug in what I call supplemental materials. So those supplemental materials support the different tasks in the workflow steps. So if you think about it, you may have to delegate this to someone else on your team. So if you say, send the client welcome email, right? You're always gonna have new clients, so you wanna make sure you have the email template in there. If you are using different systems, having how-tos within the workflow step. So if someone's, okay, how do I open the client portal? How do I send the form? You can record videos on how to do it. You can write step-by-step guides. This is where you want to get your workflow outline in place. And the final piece I want to add is just have your standard communication in place. So this may be how-to guides that are branded. This may be marketing material. It could be email templates. Because we're in an industry where client communication is really heavy, having those templates are helpful. You want to have task templates and workflow templates in place. Start there. And you don't have to jump to automation right after you do this step. If you want to see if the process is working, first do that, because you don't want to automate a process that has not been reviewed and tried out, because you basically may automate error. So that's something to think about. So for those who are in the automation bucket, what you want to do, since you're here, you already have your workflow. You really want to audit your existing workflow that you have in place and find opportunities to automate it. So you can look at systems like Zapier. So Zapier is a third-party system that allows systems to speak to each other. There's thousands of different tools in Zapier to help you with this process. The other piece is that you need to complete a technology evaluation. So understanding what your systems can do today. So you have automations and then you have native integrations. So those native integrations may help save time. The biggest piece that I can think about is that manual data entry. So finding times to really innovate your process is really what automation can do for you. So I hope this helps. Definitely let me know if your business is in a place where you are in the streamlining phase or the automation phase.